Space. It's full of mysteries that have remained unsolved for centuries. But recently, the cosmos has surpassed itself by baffling the world with a new, scary abnormality. Apparently, something is tearing holes in the Milky Way, the galaxy that contains our solar system. Scientists have several theories, but none of them sound particularly reassuring. When astronomers started the Gaia observations, a project that was organized to create a detailed 3D map of our galaxy, they didn't expect to find anything surprising. But that's exactly what happened. Earlier this year, Harvard scientist Dr. Anna Bonica noticed a weird disturbance in our galaxy's stellar streams. A stellar stream is a line of stars that are moving together through galaxies. The stellar stream we're talking about is called GD1, and it's stretched in an impressive line across our sky. Anyway, this stream used to be a cohesive line, stretched by the gravity of our galaxy. Well, not anymore. One day, Dr. Bonica noticed a gap in the stream, and this gap had a strange, ragged edge. In fact, it looked like something terrifyingly huge recently plunged through the stellar stream, and the sheer force of this object's gravity was so great that it managed to drag stars in its wake. The most shocking thing was that the telescope simply failed to find the source of the damage. But then, what could this unseen bullet be? One theory suggests that the intruder is a stray star. However, the hole is too enormous for this idea to sound plausible. According to Dr. Bonica, the hole is way bigger than any existing star. It would have to be 1,000,000 times more massive than our Sun. That's why this theory can't be ruled out. But what if the hole in the Milky Way was torn by a supermassive black hole like the one that dwells in the center of our galaxy? If it was, it'd be a pretty scary scenario. If these two black holes got too close, they wouldn't be able to escape each other's gravity, and a collision might be inevitable. And it would be an extremely violent event. The stronger of the two holes would consume the weaker one, and one huge, super mighty black hole would appear. But people have yet to witness a collision of black holes. What's more, scientists can't predict the consequences of such a merge, even though they've simulated it on powerful computers. The only obvious fact is that it would produce incredible amounts of energy and send huge ripples through the universe. Naturally, these ripples would be bound to eventually hit our planet. On the other hand, two black holes in one galaxy might refuse to merge. Imagine this: a supermassive black hole, hundreds of millions of times the mass of the Sun, is spinning in the center of the Milky Way at a phenomenal speed. Another spinning black hole approaches ours. What do you think will happen? Right, one of the holes, most likely the intruder, will get kicked out and sent hurtling away like a frisbee flying through space. And who can guarantee that it wouldn't head towards the Earth? Luckily for us, there aren't any supermassive black holes in the vicinity, so this theory fails to explain the mysterious bullet hole phenomenon. Naturally, astronomers have continued their observations, but what baffles them is that there's no large object made from ordinary light-reflecting matter moving away from the bullet hole. This fact hints that the culprit that tore our Milky Way could be dark matter. Dark matter is mystifying and invisible, and it makes up more than 27% of all the matter in the universe. For comparison, the regular matter, which is virtually all the stuff we can see, makes up only a mere 5% of the universe. And the rest is dark energy, which is a bizarre phenomenon, still unclear to researchers, but associated with the never-ending expansion of the universe. But back to our dark matter, which gets even more confusing once you learn about the following paradox. On one hand, scientists have never directly detected dark matter, despite conducting tons of experiments. On the other hand, after observing dark matter's gravitational pull, astronomers are sure that this substance does exist. They came to the conclusion that dark matter doesn't move around much, and neither produces nor interacts with light. Well, no wonder it's called dark. So, what if it was dark matter that harmed our galaxy? And what if it reached Earth? Unlike a stream of regular matter, dark matter wouldn't see the Earth as an obstacle. It would just pass through. But that's not the most amazing part. The thing is, after the dark matter passes through the planet's core, the Earth's gravitation would most likely bend the stream into dense thin hairs. These hairs would have roots and tips, just like human hairs do. In the root of a dark matter hair, the particle density would be 1 billion times higher than average. Also, the root would be somewhere around 600,000 miles away from Earth's surface, or in other words, 2 times further than the Moon. As for the tip of the hair, it would be even further from Earth. How would it influence our planet and us? Well, it's still unclear, but the chances are that people wouldn't even notice the dark matter intrusion. Until too late. Nah, just kidding. At the same time, if it were indeed a dense ball of dark matter that had damaged the Milky Way, scientists would be more than happy. This would provide them with the perfect opportunity to study the elusive substance. On top of that, it would prove the theory that dark matter is lumpy rather than smooth or evenly distributed all over the universe. However, Dr. Bonica still doesn't rule out the possibility that the intruder is a luminous object that, after tearing a hole in the Milky Way, is hiding somewhere in the galaxy. But again, it seems highly unlikely because of the huge size of the object. According to scientific estimation, it would be 30 to 65 light-years across. In any case, it's hard to predict where it would have ended up if it were a luminous object, and here's the reason. The intruder could have been moving at an incredibly high speed, and wouldn't have to be very massive to tear a hole in the stellar stream. Or it could have been moving more slowly, but be very heavy. But the astronomers don't know which option it was. That's why it's next to impossible to predict where it ended up. Well, it seems that for now, our intruder remains a mystery that will torture the minds of astronomers from all over the world. And if the galaxy isn't already a bizarre and often illogical place, just have a look at its outskirts. They're protected by a halo of hot gas, studded with dying stars and beautiful globular clusters. The latter are spherical groups of stars that are tightly bound by gravity and orbit the galactic core as satellites. But that's not all. The edge of the galaxy can even contain traces of a ghost galaxy, one that's older than our Milky Way. Curiously, the astronomers who discovered the Ghost Galaxy, which is a satellite galaxy of the Milky Way, can't explain its origin and nature. Named Ant 2, the galaxy was dubbed Ghost because it's weirdly dim. Besides, for a dwarf galaxy, yep, those do exist, Ant 2 is too large, too faint, and doesn't have enough mass for its size. A walking paradox. However, scientists have an idea why the Ghost Galaxy might be so abnormal. The thing is that the Milky Way could be constantly tearing chunks of this satellite galaxy with its gravitational field. It would explain the dimness of the galaxy and its low mass. But then, it doesn't clear up why Ant 2 is so big. Usually, satellite galaxies shrink, not grow, when they lose their mass to the Milky Way's gravitational pull. The Ghost Galaxy's unexplained quirks made astronomers call Ant 2 an oddball and add it to the list of space mysteries and paradoxes. Okay, my brain exploded with that one. Have you heard about any other mysteries space has in store for us? Let me know down in the comments. If you learned something new today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. But hey, don't go anywhere just yet. We have over 2,000 cool videos for you to check out. All you have to do is pick the left or right video, click on it, and enjoy. Stay on the bright side of life.